should be live. And welcome back to the GT Sport League here for Group 1 action, with the Group 2 cars are in today for the second round, and once again joined by Isaac Smart.
What's good, guys?
And everyone just getting ready to go on the laps now. Actually, some of them starting to put some times in. Has already had 4 minutes in the session so far. Bon Evil topping the timing so far with 2 seconds. Oh no, Dutchy's gone 300s quicker than them.
Quite a lot of traffic heading down into Tunnel 1. Play Dutchy snatching opening lap from Bon Evil by how many but only 39 milliseconds, so very, very close between them. But
he might have got away in the Cryptech there actually, so Bon Evil I think just ruining Cryptech's like a bit. I don't know if he was on a lap but getting out of the way of the rest of the cars. There's a Tim Grain coming through very quickly through that corner there, and he's got Natty right behind him, and they're both on a lap now. And
getting a bit racy there, aren't they, in qualifying, Ben, already? Only 4 minutes into this quali session already, these drivers are getting very racy. Cryptech pulling over to the side, they got in the grass there. I think he just completely had to back out of that lap. But yeah, we are here at Fuji Speedway today, so quite a difficult track for these drivers to navigate. It's loads of corners, banking corners as well. Could be quite dangerous to be going wheel to wheel through.
Sorry, Cryptech was actually apologising. I don't know if Cryptech did something wrong on his lap.
Oh, I did see him on the grass there.
Yeah, he did go off
did see him on the grass, but I didn't see any contact there. But maybe he did potentially ruin someone's lap. But we did not see that, as these drivers do fly into the pits for probably some fuel, possibly the super softs as well. We'll have to wait and see what sort of tyre call these drivers decide to opt for.
Yeah, probably going to go on the super softs now, I think, for some of their faster runs, as Natty and Daniel Gardenzi still looking to go on a lap here. Welcome to everyone in the chat. Hope you're all having a good day. Getting ready to go racing here for what is actually, there's only 3 more rounds in this, so that the third to last round, and I've just seen Jetsy's got an Among Us character on the back of his car actually. I've only just noticed that. Have you seen that he's got like a sus thing on the back of his car? I like that bit. Hello to Rick Cole.
Oh yeah. He does on the back of his Lexus there.
Never even know.
Nice little addition. I like that lion on the front as well. That's quite a nice car design for him. But back to this track. I'm wondering, where will we see the major overtakes? I'm thinking obviously on this major straight, because it is actually one of the longest straights on a motorsport track. Yeah. So definitely into turn 1 we'll see a move, possibly on the entrance to the straight as well, I imagine, and this other heavy braking zone as well. I believe that's down in sector 3 as Tiger and Holland Campion go through the escape road and have difficulties doing that, as I'm not sure who that was now.
Pile up here. There's like
I think it was Cryptech. Yeah, I think it was Cryptech, and he just caught one of the barriers, and Tiger had to slam on the brake there. So clearly that's catching some of the drivers out. I have noticed it is quite tight to go through the escape roads, especially in F1. I don't know if you've ever missed your braking point going into turn 1 in Monza, but it is absolutely impossible to go through those barriers.
That was braking a bit like Sebastian Vettel did there.
Yeah, just take it out.
Yeah, but Hussein was on an outlap. He's going to be starting his lap now, and going in towards turn 1. I do but yeah, these guys are all going to be going on the laps now. He's obviously going to be wanting to try and beat Toussaint, I think, to keep his championship hopes alive, as he goes out a bit wide there, coming out of turn 1, and he's got Jetsy all over the back of him. So that might hurt Jetsy's lap a little bit. I believe he is on the lap. I think that was Dan Schneider maybe going off a bit there. Oh, there's Eifin. Eifin's had an off in the middle sector. As he was going on lap, and it's really confusing me now, because Eifin's car looks the exact same as Natty. It's like the exact same colour as the thing. You know how they used to have the red for the Coca-Cola race? It's really confusing.
Oh yeah, but they're on different teams, aren't they?
Exactly.
So yeah,
Yeah.
We'll try to remember the differences on their cars so we don't get mistaken in the race.
Yeah.
But Piero joining us again. Was he the one that stepped in for Topster, or am I mistaken?
I believe no. I think first of all it was Webson's that.
It was Webson's replacing Topster, wasn't it? But he's not joining us today, unfortunately.
Yeah. So that is actually Piero is the replacement driver for Topster. So he's going to be Play Dutchy's teammate. Is currently on opposite ends of the grid at the moment. Piero down in P13, but Dutchy actually topping the timings at the moment. No surprises really there. But Tiger Assassin does set a good lap, goes into P2 there, but quickly gets beaten by Play Dutchy, puts himself on provisional pole for the moment by almost 0.5 of a second, so really good lap from Dutchy there. Has got a bit of traffic now.
Strong laps from from Dan Schneider and Holland Campion. The two Netherlands drivers, sorry.
Yeah.
Piero as well, Frenchman, also had a good lap there in P4.
I was just going to say that good lap from Piero there to put himself.
Really strong lap from him. We haven't seen too much from this driver, but the way it stands right now, if he can hold on to that P4 for the start, hopefully get a good start and avoid contact as well, might be on for a strong result here. On Evil as well, I must say, it has picked up the pace, hasn't she? P3 so far. Hopefully she has more time to find on this lap. Looks like she's going faster as well. Hopefully can bring the fight to the front runners as well. Maybe have really fun battle with Dutchy and Tiger as Piero cuts the grass. Yeah, Piero cuts over the grass there. Daniel Gardenzi sets a new time. Only P10 for him.
And Tim Gren down at the moment in P9, so we definitely would have thought to see him further up the grid, not having such a great time of qualifying at the moment. I think he is going to come across, set a lap. He's not actually. He's come to the pit, so like a lot of the time recently, Tim Gren's left it last minute to put in a decent time. And Toussaint, the guy that's challenging for the title at the moment with Play Dutchy, who's currently the leader, is down in P7, not having a good time of things in these Group 2 cars so far, Toussaint. And finds himself down in P7 at the moment. Going to want to try and improve on that. He's just strapped on a new set of the Super Soft to see what kind of lap times he's going to be able to put in. There's a bit of a hold up there. I think they were just letting some of the faster drivers go through that are on laps. Play Dutchy looks like he's going for a lap here. I think there's quite a lot of traffic going.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of traffic there as these drivers are bunched up and just heading through that turn there. And I'm interested to see if Tiger has the pace in this race to challenge Dutchy, but as it stands right now, Dutchy currently just under 5 tenths ahead of Tiger in that BCMR, so we'll have to keep an eye on both of those drivers to see what unfolds in this race. Quite excited to see these battles.
I'm really disappointed about Ifin, because he had such a great start to the season. Because you remember when we were back in the Group 4 cars, he was having such a good time of things, and now, ever since we went to the Group 3 cars, he was really struggling. He picked the Supra for the Group 3 cars, and he always seemed like he was on the back foot. He had a couple of good races. Look at the traffic going into the last sector.
Massive pile up here. Massive pile up.
Like Monza
massive pile up here.
And or was it 2020?
And they are stationary right now. They are stationary on the track. Toussaint getting out the way, Jetsi also getting out the way. Bonnie trying to sneak through as well and try and get past Cryptech there, and potentially even Jetsi as well, as these drivers now get onto their hot laps.
But surely they need to keep like temperature in their tyre. Like Rick Holt's even saying, what are they doing? I've no idea what they're doing, mate. They're all just waiting for each other to go through. It's like, no, you go first. I think they just want to let, Tiger's trying to let them go because no one wants to be at the front of the pack because they want to get the slipstream, but it looks like Piero is going to be the one that goes for it, but they're all ready to go in their laps here, and this is going to be so close. Are they going to be able to improve how close they are to each other? Tiger looks like he's tucked up right behind Cryptet, and surely that is going to impede his lap a little bit there. The man in second at the moment is Toussaint on a lap. He's in amongst this group as well, so it might not be good for him on his lap as they head towards turn 1. And yeah, it seems very tight between these guys. If anyone makes a mistake, it could cost a lot of people their laps here, as they're currently heading through turn 1. And I was just trying to get the full
Piero's already backed off his lap there. So clearly, clearly without that slipstream, maybe just realizing that there was not too much time to find. But even still, not sure if he'll be able to hang on to that P4 now, after having to back off this lap. So hopefully he has enough time. Hopefully Piero has enough time to set another lap and hopefully go back into closer to the front. But Jetsy as well in P13, he was looking quite strong in practice, only caught it quite briefly, but I think Jetsy was up there in P3, P2, so right now in last, hopefully has good lap. Yeah, I just know. Yeah, he went a bit wide there. On it's a bit of twitch of the wheel as well. There, nearly lost the rear, stepping up just a little bit. Car looking quite unsettled around Fuji, and there's a massive crash as Dan Schneider completely crashes into the barricade.
Bonnie Evil's on.
Bonnie Evil as well, as Bonnie Evil also fucking copies Dan Schneider there. So that was absolutely terrible, as his driver's now set fastest laps.
Tuesday only goes P4 with his lap, actually drops down to P5, sorry. Bonnie Evil still somehow managed to set a lap, did she? No, she stays P4. Tuesday in P5, Tiger stays in P3 at Timgren. Like I said, come through at the end of the session though and goes P2.
That was crazy. Both of these drivers experiencing massive difficulties getting on the traction there, as also looked like Bonnie was just copying what Dan Schneider did. She mirrored him, lost it in the exact same place. So clearly this track is proving quite treacherous, as both of those drivers were met with the barricade there on the last corner.
I think Tiger could be trying to improve on his lap here. He's actually about 3 tenths down on his time. He's got a Timgren right behind him now, and a Timgren was trying to get past him there. I think a bit of racing going on, even in the qualifying here. With only 30 seconds remaining though, this is probably going to be their last attempt at a lap, potentially, as Bonnie Evil coming through the middle sector, I believe now. I think that's the middle sector. Yeah, she comes through 100R, so she might be trying to set a lap here as well. Timgren is all over the back of Tiger here. It's almost like they're actually racing, and Tiger's got Cryptek right ahead of him. Any of these guys are going to be able to improve on the lap? You'd think that Cryptek is going to be able to improve from P8. Is he going to be able to? Doesn't, I don't think.
Jetsy moves himself up from last to P8, and that was, I think, Bonnie Evil there, cutting the grass. So Bonnie not finding any more time to find. Another lap from Holland Campion as well moves up into 8, Piero into 7, so was able to actually improve on his time, as Natty slots in 5th, behind Bonnie Evil by not a lot, only by just under a 10th, I think, but a strong lap from Tiger and a Timgren there, which puts him 2nd.
Crucially, Toussaint is not improving on his lap. I don't think he's going to be completing this lap, because I think he was like 9 seconds down or something going into the first sector. So the man that should be really challenging for the title is currently about 30 points behind Play Dutchy. It's not going well for him so far this weekend, struggling really around this track, and his championship rival Dutchy is looking like he's not going to be challenged for pole position here. 4 attempts between him and Timgren. And then he's got Tiger right behind him, but Tiger might be improving on his lap here potentially. He's only 500ths down from Timgren, so if a good lap from here could put him up the grid. Only got to improve by about a 10th to put himself up onto the front row of the grid here.
Oh, and he got a really nice exit out of there, didn't he? He ran really wide and completely took a late apex, but it worked for him. But as he crosses the line now, to see what sort of time he was able to find on this lap, but he's swerving. Yeah, he backed off that lap. Unfortunate for Tiger there. Still a strong showing from Tiger there in P3. Not as strong as Toussaint would have liked in P6, but what I'm really surprised about is Ifin in P12 there. Right at the back of the field. That's not usually where he finds himself after a qualifying session. So clearly having some issues with this track today. Hopefully will make up that will make up the time that he lost in quali in the race. The qualifying has now ended, and that is the grid there.
So it's Play Dutchy on pole with Timgren in second. Tiger takes third position. I think it was 4th for Bon Evil. And then I'm just going to see them in a second. It was 4th for Bon Evil, 5th for Natty, 6th for Toussaint. Piero slotted his car in 7th, Holland Campion in 8th, Dan Schneider in 9th, Jetsy in 10th. Just going to see the rest of the grid. Cryptech in 11th, Ifin in 12th, and Daniel Gardenzi rounding off the grid in 13th place. I do have all the display on as these guys are going to get ready for the lights to go out here for the Group 2 race at Fuji, and the lights are out and we are underway, and looks like everyone's got a fairly clean start. Daniel Gardenzi maybe looking for the move at the back of the grid there, but Tiger has taken the lead of the race going down into turn 1. Timgren is pressurising Play Dutchy, but Dutchy going to take it back down the inside of Timgren, and them are going wheel to wheel through the first corner, and it's all sort. Oh, he's got Alsor's out of shape,
running
and
across, and he's hit into Dutchy there as Tiger hits into Dutchy, and they're 4 abreast as Bonnie slits her car through. As she slits her car through there, and that's Toussaint running wide, and they're 4 wide just then. And Tiger and Dutchy battling very, very hard in the opening lap. So is Ifin and Dan Schneider there going wheel to wheel right at the back of the pack, and Play Dutchy gets past Tiger Assassin for P3. Timgren slips around the outside of Dutchy there. Tiger slips in back behind. Tiger slips in back behind Dutchy there.
Start that Toussaint needed. He needs Dutchy to be behind him in this race to stand any chance, and Piero is off. Was Piero?
Oh, and that was a massive corner cut there because you couldn't get the car slowed down.
Yeah,
it looked like.
I don't think he can brake there. And
but what a start to the race for Bonnie. Bonnie has capitalised on everything that went wrong at that start, and Timgren as well. Having a really good start. Dutchy getting really bogged down, caught in loads of traffic, couldn't find a way through like Bonnie did. And Tiger as well. Tiger was leading, now finds himself in 4th, battling with that PCMR car around this Fuji track, right behind Toussaint as well, who's made up a position into 5th. But what an opening lap that was, Ben, wasn't it? That was an eventful as Cryptech loses the car in 12th, and he's absolutely careered into the barrier there. And does he have damage? I'm just checking, and he does, and he has front bumper damage. So does Daniel Gardenzi as well. Cryptech with engine damage as well. That's not what he wanted in this race today. But yeah, there's Timgren right on the back of Bonnie Evil, followed very closely behind by Dutchy as well. So what a race we have on our hands. Still 48 minutes left. It's going to be a very eventful race today.
Yeah, definitely. And Timgren was under a bit of pressure from Play Dutchy. Gap has stabilised a little bit now, but Bon Evil looks like she's coming under pressure. I think that was Tiger going a bit wide there and getting on the grass. Toussaint might be a bit of team orders here, as well. Toussaint is challenging for the title, and Tiger's a little bit further behind, I believe, on points, so could potentially be allowed through. They're going to have to try and get after Play Dutchy here. Gap's currently about 5/10, but actually Timgren's losing Dutchy a little bit here, pulling out a little bit of a gap at the front, but Bon Evil is going to be coming under pressure. Just don't know who is going to be able to win this one. It's going to be whoever can be the most consistent around this track, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I must say though, it's Timgren and Bonnie looking very strong in the qualifying as well. Have had a really good start to this race. I can't stress that enough, man. And Dutchy looking to pick up the scraps and try and regain his lead, as well as Tiger as well. And
looking for the move into the first corner. He's going to try and send it down the inside. This could be the lead here for Timgren. Had a very strong start to the race. Just backs out of it for now, but could have another look potentially into the Coca-Cola corner as they take turn 2. And then into this little complex, but it's very hard to overtake through here. Such a high-speed area of the track. Timgren is right behind Bon Evil though, looking for the move. Looking very, very quick.
Timgren not able to make that move stick on that occasion, slots in directly behind Bonnie, but looking for that inside line. Thinks about it, has a quick think, but snaps the car back into formation behind Bonnie Evil there to regain that slipstream. But only 3 attempts, and he's gaining. This gap is coming down. Bonnie Evil is looking in her mirrors, and is seeing a Timgren there. Timgren adamant to get past. And we'll just have to wait and see what he can do on the longest straight.
Yeah, what great
might
start
look for a dive.
Natty started around P12, I believe, and is now finding himself up in P6. Had a really good start to the race. Good race so far for Forget Me Not Racing. and Toussaint looked a lot closer to Tiger there, and Tiger's actually gaining a little bit on Dutchy. Dutchy doesn't seem to just have the pace, or maybe he's doing his normal strategy and just reserving his tyres, reserving his fuel, and then will make a second run at it through the second stint and third stint of the race. I believe they should be pitting twice potentially in this race. Should be pitting twice, but Timgren looks very close to Bon Evil once again going into the first corner, and I think this time he is going to try and send it down the inside. There's almost contacting so close into turn one, but they're going to have the inside line. It's now going to switch to the outside line, and Bon Evil's going to have it, I think, going into the next corner. Timgren just has to slot back in behind for now, but good fight in between those two. A lot of respect left on the track there for those guys.
Oh, as Cryptek again, massive damage to his whole car and lost the car again. That is not what he wanted. And I think that was in the exact same position, if I'm not mistaken, where he lost it the first time. So Fuji proven really treacherous and difficult for Cryptek there, who is not having a good day at all. Bonnie Evil, though, back up to the top of the grid, barely being able to defend against the likes of a Timgren. Did very well the first time, Timgren trying to hold it around the outside, but wasn't able to on that occasion. But Bonnie maintained composure and kept Timgren behind. But the question is, that we're all asking ourselves, is how long is she going to be able to keep Timgren behind? Because I can't see her being able to for that long, as she lacks the slipstream, especially on the straights.
Yeah, and
especially on the straights.
Quite close to Play Dutchy as well. Could we see potentially a double overtake here? But Timgren is going to pull out. He looks like he's pulling out a lot earlier this time, so he definitely could have a better run on Bon Evil. He's definitely going to try and send it down the inside now. Looks like Tiger is potentially going to be looking for the move on Play Dutchy as well, but I think Dutchy's going to try and go for the move on Bon Evil.
Oh, and Timgren snatches the lead there from Bon Evil. That was a good move from a Timgren there. I'm not sure if you caught that, Ben, but that was a really clean overtake from a Timgren there. Cannot be faulted at all, and Bonnie now finds herself in P2, chasing down the charging a Timgren, looking very, very fast around this track, very, very quick. And Giara's and Tiger and Dutchy. That is another close battle we have on our hands, as Toussaint is looking to also get involved in this, and Tiger is looking really desperate to get past Dutchy in the very early stages of this race. Someone else that hazards on as well, I think that was Natty. I'm not sure what he's trying to communicate to these other drivers, but either way, we're just going to have to keep a very close eye on
and Dan
Tiger
Schneider
and
Holland
Dutchy.
Campion, going wheel to wheel through the last sector, and I think Dan Schneider did make up the position there up into P7, but Holland Campion staying very, very close behind him here, and could potentially be looking for the move as they head towards the Panasonic corner, the last corner of this track. Going to try and stay close to him is Holland Campion for the Flying Campions team, and they're doing quite well at the moment, as Holland Campion up in P8, could potentially be P7 after this straight, and of course his teammate Timgren leading the race at the moment, but for how much longer, because Bon Evil is only a tenth behind him and potentially going to pull out for a move here. She's going to try and send it down the inside, or is she just going to stay behind for now? I think she's just going to play the Timgren strategy and just wait a couple more laps and see if she can stay close, and wait till she's got a bit more fuel, maybe a bit more tyre grip, and go for it again there. But Tiger pulling out maybe just to cool his engine a little bit, right behind Play Dutchy. These guys are so close together on track at the moment, so it might be difficult through these corners as they take it through 100R. These Group 2 cars are just so much quicker than the likes of the Group 3 cars that have been racing in before. Dutchy just doesn't look like he has the pace as much in this category of car. Looks like it's much more balanced out for these guys, and making a little bit of a mistake there, I think, Dutchy. I think he just went out a little bit wide, and Tiger's going to be all over the back of him now as they head into the last sector. Very close battle in between there, and Bon Evil's lost it on the curb almost, and she got all sideways there, and Dutchy's gone through now, so Dutchy's up into second place, and Toussaint was looking for the move on Tiger there, his teammate, and then
Tiger just squeezes Toussaint out. Bonnie caught out on the curb then, finds herself in P5 looking for a recovery drive at this moment in time now. But anyway, you were saying about those the GR2 cars. I believe they're making for more interesting races, but as we've seen from the likes of Cryptech, they are really difficult to handle and very, very, very easy to lose it under traction. So these drivers need to be very smart, diligent about their throttle pressure, how easy and how early, they can get on the traction, because it's very difficult to get on that quite early, as Natty is looking quite close to Bonnie. He's just maintaining this distance to his teammate. Probably was very close to her when she made that mistake, but didn't want to fight that really. Anyway, I've just noticed someone has a slowdown penalty as well as Pierre. Only a tenth, won't cost him too much time. But Dutchy in P2 now, after Bonnie's error. Timgren leading the way, followed very closely behind by Tiger, as Tiger is very close to the back of Dutchy. Dutchy quite shook up from the start of this race, had pole and fell down the order. Now finds himself up into P2, but he lost quite a lot of composure. He was coming under pressure from Tiger. He was keeping a gap to Tiger, then it was going down and couldn't make up his mind what he was doing. But or he might just be like you said earlier, Ben, saving tires, saving fuel, which is what he usually does. Is after all these races are long term, they're not won in the first lap. So we're gonna have to see how he fares around this endurance race today.
It's a good camera angle there going around Panasonic corner, but Tiger was looking a hell of a lot closer to the back of Play Dutchy's car. Could be potentially looking for a move to get himself into the top two. It does. Tiger pulls out for the move down into turn one.
So does Toussaint as well. Toussaint's looking for it, and may nearly go 3 wide there as Toussaint slips past Dutchy as well. So Dutchy now down into 4th. Dutchy will not be happy that both BCMRs managed to manoeuvre past him. So Dutchy is looking very aggressive today and looking to regain 2nd place. So he's hunting down these BCMR cars right now. But what a brilliant day that BCMR having out there, having a field day right now in P2 and P3. So brilliant track position for them, hunting down P1, also working together as well.
Piero and Jetsy are going wheel to wheel, through 100R, and Piero's going to try and send it down the inside. Jetsy gets the switch back though, and is going to try and get a better traction out the corner, going round the outside. Who's going to have it into this part of the track? They're still going wheel to wheel through the middle sector, heading down in towards this heavy braking zone here. Who's going to have it? Is Piero, who has the inside line, but Jetsy's going to try and keep his front nose in and doesn't quite do it for now. But a great race between those two, fighting over the lower end of the points.
Yeah, that was a nice battle there. But moving back onto the top of the field, Dutchy keeping this gap to Toussaint, managing his soft tyres there.
But wait, we haven't seen this. Toussaint has got past Dutchy.
I saw. I commentated on it. Do you remember? So when Tiger got past Dutchy, that allowed Toussaint also to slip through. But anyway, we're seeing Toussaint making a move on Tiger, but slips back in, not wanting to make a dodgy move there and make contact with his teammates. So that was quite smart thinking by Toussaint. I respect that, and didn't cause quite a dramatic error there, which could have costed both BCMR cars to lose time to Timgren, who is leading the way at the moment.
Yeah, and hello to Castengo in the chat, Premier Series competitor, and we raced with
Piero and Jetsy again a wheel to wheel as Jetsy squeezes Piero out slightly wide there.
This guy's racing really well.
Taking the racing line, Piero looking for every sort of cutback he can manage to find in that car. Any sort of time he can try and find to get past Jetsy, as Jetsy slides the rear out ever so slightly, but again has cost him some time to Piero behind. Or Piero look for a move into this corner, probably biding his time until the straight there. Holland Campion has picked up a 3/10 time penalty, which has been noted, and yeah, what a start to this race though. Very eventful from all of the drivers. Very clean racing as well that we've seen.
Yeah, hello to Jerry Hype as well in the chat.
Oh, and Dan Schneider just come under massive pressure from Natty, and Natty gets past Dan Schneider quite easily. Holland Campion also looking to get involved. Dan Schneider's not finished yet, and also challenging Natty again. And I think Natty with just a bit more pace on this straight. But what can Dan Schneider do heading into this braking zone? As Dan Schneider's super late on the brakes. Holland Campion gets involved as well, challenging Natty. Natty has the inside line, but Dan Schneider holds it around the outside. Natty still with the inside line, but still under pressure from both of these drivers. Dan Schneider ghosting there, but Natty finds his way around the outside, puts himself up into 6th, got past both of them. So what a move from Natty, who slips back in behind his teammate. And Holland Campion also looking to apply some pressure to Dan Schneider's... what car is Dan Schneider in? I believe that is a Nissan, is it?
It is, yeah. The other two are
yeah, to Dan Schneider's Nissan there. But yeah, I still haven't worked out, is the Nissan faster than the Lexus? I'm not too sure, would you know?
The certain cars have certain traits, so some of them are better in a straight line. I believe the Nissan's doing quite well at the moment, but obviously Toussaint and Duchy are both in the Lexus, but then the two leading drivers both of Tim Grant and Tiger are both in the Nissan. So I'm not really sure if anyone knows in the chat which one's kind of better at the straight line and which one's better at corner. I think they're fairly close in this category of racing. I think these two are some of the best cars that you can get in this one. Hello to Giovanni Cameron in the chat as well, and I think Jerry Hype saying that all you see is happy commentaries. That's because we've got a great community here in Gavra Racing, and some great racing going on at the moment. So yeah, can't complain about it. It's Bon Evil getting very close to the back of Play Duchy, and trying to recover some good points here, Bon Evil, after that unfortunate contact earlier on in the race. She did kind of make the mistake herself, but as Natty and Dan Schneider are still going wheel to wheel here through the first sector, and Dan Schneider actually gets the move back on Natty, but I don't think Natty's going to have any of that, and he's going to try and fight it back here. The Super League driver trying to go around the outside of Dan Schneider through 100R, and if he's going to switch to the inside, who's going to have it later under the brakes? It looks like Dan Schneider's going to have it, but is he going to drift out? Why is Natty?
A bit wide.
Natty got the rear
runs
out
a bit wide there, yeah, and both drivers having difficulty getting on the traction yet again. But yeah, super close between these three drivers at the moment. Not a lot separating them. As you usually say, Ben, your favourite catchphrase, you can throw a blanket over all of them. But you can get a blanket right across Tiger and the Timgren there, as the lead of this race could easily change hands very, very quickly here as Tiger cuts slightly more out wide, but gets a cleaner exit onto the straight, and this gap to a Timgren's coming down. Can we see the lead of this race change hands? The gap is coming under a 10th. Tiger pulls out to the left hand side, applies a ton of pressure to a Timgren, and has Tiger made this move up before the braking zone? They're still wheel to wheel going down into this braking zone. What's going to happen? Who's going to be later on the brake? Sorry, Timgren has the inside line and holds off the charging Tiger Assassin in that BCMR car. But the question is, how long can he do that? Because Tiger is looking for every part of the track to try and utilise it, gain as much time and an advantage on a Timgren. But unfortunately on this occasion, Tiger has to keep looking at the rear of a Timgren's is it Lexus? I can't see from there. I keep getting these dodgy camera. Yeah, in the Nissan, sorry. I keep getting these dodgy camera angles. Tiger's going to try and
switch it down the inside. Is he going to be able to make the move here? Looks like he might have a better traction coming out of the corner. Is he going to try and go around the outside? He's not. He just backs out of it for now, but they're so close that Tiger can make the move at any corner here. He's very, very close. And Duchy now...
Duchy looking to get involved there. Sorry to interrupt you, Ben. Just saw Duchy looking to the outside line of Toussaint. Toussaint starts seeing Duchy all over the back of his gearbox there. So Duchy looking to get back into the podium positions in this race.
Yeah, and Toussaint is looking in quite a good position now. He needs to stay ahead of Play Duchy, really, to have a chance at winning this championship, as his gap, I think, is just going to be too much if he exceeds too many positions here today. But it looks like all of these guys potentially going to want to be pitting in the next few laps.
What's happened to Natty in P10? Is Natty pitted? He's on the mediums. Oh yeah, he's really fueled up. So Natty has pitted. That's calm. I thought he had massive contact or something and just dropped from his battle with Dan Schneider and Holland Campion. Ifin also getting back into the equation there in P7 on his super soft tyres, but they are beginning to slightly fall off. But are you getting all these messages from this chat? I think they should do two separate chats for Group A and Group B, because it must be quite a distraction for all these drivers. Keep seeing notifications popping up on the left-hand side of their screen all the time. So maybe doing separate chats for Group A and Group B, like they do in F1, might be a shout for these drivers. As I know Tiger doesn't. Tiger always puts in the chat, if you type in the F1 chat, when there's a session underway, he always gets quite aggy about that. So maybe make a separate chat for that. But Tiger's still leading the way, followed closely behind by Toussaint, and Dutchy made the move on Bonnie that we didn't see. So Dutchy has now got himself back up into the podium positions around Fuji Speedway.
Yeah, and Casting was saying that this game misses safety car. I do think it could do with the safety car feature for like the big crash that we had at the start, and with Cryptech going off. But I feel like the racing's a lot cleaner on this game. Just in general, obviously you could have a lot of clean races on F1 as well, but I feel like just in general so far this season we've seen a lot of clean racing, not too many crashes like between each driver. And Toussaint actually looking very close behind his teammate Tiger Assassin there in the Lexus. And it looks like Dutchy's once again been the best fuel manager out of the top 5 or 6. And
as a Tim Gren, Holland Campion and Bonnie all decide to pit at the same time. The question is, what sort of strategy and tyres have these guys gone for? The Super Softs is looking like the most viable option at this moment in time, which is quite surprising. Quite high, as both BCMR cars are battling it out at the moment, as the leaders change hands to Toussaint, who has overtaken Tiger. So I don't think we caught that move, but was their team orders there? Is Toussaint the faster driver at this moment in time on the track? Clearly so, as Tiger's tyres are really degraded. It must be driving on the rims at this moment in time, as his car snaps out to the right there, looking to pit ASAP.
Dutchy's definitely look worse.
Oh, and Dutchy's tyres, Dutchy's tyres are really warm.
Both the leaders are going to pit, and Dutchy comes into bits as well. So interesting that he'd actually save more fuel, but doesn't continue on. Thinks that those tyres are done, and it's time to go onto a fresh set of the tyres. And going to be interesting what tyres they actually do go for. I'd assume mediums at this point in the race, but could go for some different strategies, the two BCMR brothers. Let's see what tyres they are going to go onto. So who's going to take the lead of the race? Is it Tim Grant going to keep his lead as he comes through the Panasonic corner now, the last corner on the track? Is he going to be able to take the lead back, or is it going to be Toussaint or Tiger Assassin?
It's going to be Ifin.
I think it's Dutchy. Oh yeah, that is Ifin for the moment, but I think he either has pitted and done.
Yeah, no, Ifin needs to pit as his tyres are beginning to fall off again. But yeah, Dutchy maintains that lead, followed by Toussaint, and Tiger's got jumped in the pits by Tim Grant, and they're battling it out right now, as Tiger was just wheel to wheel with him, but had to slot in behind him, not to make contact or go for a dodgy move, especially into that banking corner there. So smart racecraft by Tiger there to back out of that move and not make it stick on that occasion. Possibly looking Dan Schneider.
Bon Evil going well as well. I'm not sure if Dan Schneider made the move on Bon Evil going a little bit wide through that corner there. I think it's called 300R, I believe that corner is. I think. But yeah, as they go towards
and Dutchy's looking for the move on a Tim Grennan, cuts back very nicely, but he ghosted through him there, so it wasn't too much wheel to wheel action. But either way, Dutchy regains his lead, grabbed the 10th penalty as well for possibly cutting the track, getting past Ifin there. Ifin letting him by there, so that was very clean between those drivers. But Ifin is still looking to challenge. He's looking to challenge Dutchy back. He is gaining on him quite rapidly. I'm surprised about that as well. Is Ivan's tyres are way worn than Dutchy's, but obviously Dutchy doesn't have the advantage of the slipstream, does he?
Yeah.
So, but
believe
yeah, as
Ivan's
Tiger
only fit.
makes some contact with a Timgren there. Tiger looking for a move, possibly outbroke himself, and the Timgren's still in P4. Tiger following very closely behind. Dan Schneider and Jetsy are also very close as well. What will Jetsy manage to make of this on the straight? If he can maintain this gap to Dan Schneider, could possibly see an overtake for P6 there.
Yeah, we've definitely seen these guys a lot closer since they've moved to under the Group 3 and Group 2 cars, and Jetsy managing to get closer towards Dan Schneider. Dan Schneider had a few good performances actually in the Group 3 cars, but yeah, showing his pace here currently at the moment in P6 with Bon Evil behind those two. But because Dutchy had more fuel, because he strapped on the super softs as well, he's gone for a low fuel run. I think he's just going to burn out these tyres, really push for this part of the race. But Toussaint, Timgren and Tiger all going for the same strategy, but they've actually gone for more fuel. Tiger's put a lot more fuel on, which is hence why he's a bit further back from these guys now. So different strategies for these guys. Going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Dutchy's definitely got a lot less fuel now though than the likes of Tiger and that, so it could be a good battle at the end of the race.
Yeah, and Jetsy not able to keep as close to Dan Schneider as I thought he would be. But either way, the two RS Racing drivers looking to battle it out. Will Dan Schneider defend from Jetsy? Doesn't, as Jetsy wasn't able to make a move stick on that occasion. As Dan Schneider maintains P6. Yeah, Bonnie Evil, Bonnie as well, as you said, also gaining up to these drivers.
Sorry, Holland Campion and Piero looked like they were having a little bit of a battle there. Holland Campion
and
just
Natty,
covering the inside
and Natty
line
as well.
Yeah, so two three-way battles going on now at the moment. So from 6th down to 8th, there's a good battle going on, and then we've got the 4-car train really at the front from Ifin now down to Tiger Assassin, as Tiger sets a fastest middle sector. And looking quick in his Nissan at the moment. Timgren's all over the back of Toussaint. Ifin's not really a back marker, but he is slowing them up on those more worn tyres. And Toussaint going to try and send it down the inside here, and he does, makes the position up, and that could be crucial because is a Timgren going to be able to get the move done now? But Ifin's fighting this quite hard, I think, and is going to try and keep the inside line on a Timgren, and it looks like Timgren's going to get it because he's going to have a good slipstream.
Will Tiger get involved now as well, as Tiger applies a ton of pressure to Ifin, grabbing a Timgren slipstream as a Timgren pulls out to the side of Toussaint, sorry, and the Timgren goes up into second, Toussaint into third. What's gonna happen under the braking here? Toussaint slips back into second. Tiger slips into fourth ahead of Ifin, so Ifin coming out worse in that situation, but the racing's not done yet. Will Ifin fight Tiger back? Tiger forces a Timgren onto the curb there. And Ifin coming out worse in that situation, flashing his lights at Tiger, letting him know that he's not happy about that one. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on these drivers, see what's going to happen on this lap and on the exit to the straight as well. If something like that will happen again.
Crucially now though, they've lost 6.4 seconds to the leader, Play Dutchy. So Dutchy has been really the big winner here, as these guys have been fighting it out. He's gained a hell of a lot of time, and now it's up to 6.8 seconds.
I'm just noticing, is this where Dutchy's pace comes from? Because usually every race we see a 7-second advantage over the other drivers. Is it because the other drivers are battling and costing themselves so much time to him, but he's not actually pulled out that much time? It's because the other drivers have been going wheel to wheel, or have been going off the track or running on the curb. Either way, Dutchy now is pulling that 7-second advantage, as I was just speaking about. Looking very, very fast around here in his Taradata car.
Yeah, these guys are very, very close at the front. Anyone's game who could be on the podium here. Really, the Tiger really has kind of one of the biggest advantages here. Is they pitted a lap after a Timgren, so Timgren is the one who has the worst tyres out of these guys. Only by a lap, but could make a difference on the super soft tyres. Tiger has quite a bit more fuel as well to play about with. Thank you to Jerry Hype in the chat. Glad you're enjoying the racing. Some great racing going on here today, and we'll be back on Sunday for the Gavra anniversary race, the 6th anniversary of the channel. A new race that is going on between some of the top drivers that we have, some from the Super League and then a little bit of a mix from some of the other leagues like the Premier. And yeah, it should be a really good race. So that's at, I believe, 8 o'clock on Sunday, so make sure you guys tune in for that one. But so yeah, some just great racing going on here at the moment. Timgren very close behind, but look now, Tiger is right behind a Timgren and potentially going to be looking for the move here. And are these guys working together, do you think? Is it like, it's better having, it's a bit like with having the two Mercedes up at the front and Max Verstappen being the one that's kind of stuck in the middle of them.
Yeah,
stuck right in the middle now.
Yeah, he's caught in a BCMR sandwich right now, isn't he? And Tiger and Toussaint have him exactly where they want him. But is Timgren fast enough to get up into second place where he qualified? Can he take the fight to Toussaint? Only time will tell, but finds himself with a 2/10 gap to Toussaint at the moment. When Bonnie Evil there, flying past Dan Schneider, and as they head wheel to wheel into this braking zone, who's going to be later on the brakes? And it looks like Bonnie has made that move stick just barely, but Dan Schneider tries to fight it, but doesn't have the traction on that occasion to fight back on that move with Bonnie. And Bonnie on...
Ooh, Jetsy getting a bit wrong coming out of that corner, sorry. Looked like he was about to lose it on the rear. Had to correct that one as he was coming out of that corner. But stays in the battle for 5th place at the moment.
And I've been there on really worn super soft tyres, and who was that just got that corner completely wrong? And that's Daniel Gardenzi. He's riding the curb and grass there, making his own track out there today, isn't he, Ben? He's ignoring this track, and he's like, oh no, I'm going to go on the grass and on the curb over here. It's funner out here, but either way, Ifin's tyres really fallen off in this race. Lacks fuel as well, 3 slowdown penalties, so he needs to fly into the pits at the earliest convenience and get onto a fresh set of rubber.
Yeah, but some great racing going on here. There is Ifin at the moment. He's surely got to be pitting in the next few laps. He's got fairly low fuel at the moment. That should promote Bon Evil up into 5th place, and Ifin does come into the pits actually this lap. So quite a early pit stop, going to get off those super soft tyres that feel like they're the right tyre to be on at the moment. And Bon Evil now managing to pull a little bit of a gap between herself and Dan Schneider. But Dan Schneider actually staying fairly close on the straight. That slipstream being so powerful in this game, and not really like F1 where it's massively about managing your ERS. This game is all about managing your fuel, managing your tyres, and Bonnie seems to be doing a good job of that. She's on the mediums at the moment, so could pay dividend in the later parts of the race. As Tiger's still having a good amount of fuel, but Timgren looks like he's burned through a lot of it.
And Daniel Gardenzi pulling over to the side of the track there. And I believe that is his race over. Yeah, and Daniel Gardenzi not having the best of days out there today.
He's got damage
and has damage as well, so probably crashed. So that is looking like the end of his race as he retires. Yeah, as Daniel Gardenzi there retires from the race.
Sorry, it's very close between Timgren and Tiger.
He saw that at the same time.
Yeah, literally just switched onto that, and Tiger was looking for the move on the Timgren there, but just decided to back out of it there. Probably not the best place to make an overtake. And is going to try and get him on the straight, but that has allowed a Timgren to maybe get closer towards Toussaint. He looks a lot closer than he has been, and is potentially going to look for the move. I think he's maybe a little bit too far back going into turn 1, and he is at the moment, but just going to stay behind the man in the BCMR car for now.
As Dachi surpasses the back marker of Cryptech. Cryptech finding himself in last at the moment, runs on the grass a little bit as well. But Dachi with phenomenal pace today, already an 8.7 second advantage over the charging Toussaint, who has whose race so far is with a Timgren and not Dachi anymore. So having to manage his tyres, manage his fuel better than a Timgren's doing. The tyre wear is looking on somewhat of a similar level as as a Tim Grain's tyres are slightly more worn than Toussaint's, which could factor into Toussaint potentially putting on some time on a Tim Grain there, as Tiger is caught up to a Tim Grain as well. Tiger's tyres are more fresh compared to a Tim Grain, so Tiger there catching up, maybe looking to get past a Tim Grain on the straight as well, depending on how close it could be.
Yeah, I think they're just a little bit further behind. The Tim Grain doesn't look like he's as close to the back of Toussaint, but Tiger does look a little bit closer to Tim Grain. Don't think he's going to have quite the speed to catch up here. And we saw Dan Schneider also coming into the pit, so he could be trying the undercut on Bon Evil, who's currently in 5th position, so could be a 5th position for Dan Schneider if he's able to have a good stint on these tyres. He's probably going to have to pit again though. He's put on the super soft tyres, so I believe that would be a 3-stop race for him then. So weird that some of these guys are going for 3-stop, yeah, and Piero and Jetsi, so it's clearly time to come in to the pit lane. The tyre wear seems to be quite high around this track, and guys having to pit quite early for some of these tyres. Tiger's tyres look pretty decent. Tim Grain and Toussaint and Tiger both pitted a lap later, so Tim Grain is going to be suffering a little bit with those tyres in the next few laps. Probably going to have to pit, I would say, in the next few laps here.
Saying that though, Tim Grain is keeping directly behind Toussaint, which means he is managing his tyres fairly well. But they are still, and fastest lap as well, I want to point out. But it's still.
One play Dutchy pits. He's surely got a pit. He's not no fuel. He's into the pit lane. He's 8.9.
Dutchy running on empty there.
In front of Toussaint there. And Toussaint, Tim Grain and Tiger are all going to stay out. No, Tiger dives it into the pit lane, so early pit stop from him. He did have more fuel, so I did think he would go longer.
Oh, the Tim Grain's looking for the move as the Tim Grain pulls out to the left-hand side, challenging Toussaint, and slips past him with ease. So Toussaint not looking to fight that too hard, but Tim Grain on the more worn tyres gets past Toussaint to take the front position in this race at the moment, but for these drivers still yet to pit, so probably will be pitting next lap. But I'm interested to see how this undercut will fare from Tiger and from Dan Schneider as well, who has already made that work on Jetsi. So clearly the undercut is proving like the most viable option around this track today.
Yeah, and I did think that potentially these guys would have to pit again, but
Toussaint racing a Tim Grain there, just looking for some way to get past him, but had to cut the bumpy curb there and just wasn't able to find a way through past the Tim Grain, but is still hanging his nose in, but runs a little bit wide but cuts back, but still Toussaint staying with a Tim Grain and still just finds himself in second, so wasn't able to make a move on that occasion. It's quite difficult to get ahead, especially through those winding and banking corners as well.
Are they going to pit?
Yeah, looks like both of them are pitting.
Toussaint's doing the opposite to Tim Grain. No, they both dive it into the pit lane, and that will...
Oh, Bonnie and Dutchy are having a massive battle there as Dutchy slips back past ahead of Bonnie, and she has a massive twitch in her cars. Bonnie just lost a few tenths there under traction to Dutchy, but it probably will regain that in the slipstream on this straight, so no harm done for her as Dutchy takes back his provisional lead of the race. But what will Bonnie do heading into this braking zone? Absolutely nothing, as she is not close enough to Dutchy to send it.
Tiger has come out ahead of both Tim Grain and Toussaint, as I was saying, by Tiger managing to keep his fuel.
Oh, and Tiger challenging Holland Campion. I don't know if you're seeing this, but Tiger just got past Holland Campion for third there, so that was a good move by Tiger Assassin.
I think Holland Campion was fighting that one too hard, but nonetheless, Tiger Assassin up into P3 now, should be to P2, after Bon Evil will have to pit again on those medium tyres, and she's quite low on fuel. Dutchy taking the super softs to the end, as well as Tiger doing the same strategy. So Tiger, the current gap to Dutchy is about well, actually it's about 5 seconds, I believe, between those two. Yeah, about 5 seconds. So it's going to be a task and a half for Tiger to be able to close that gap on Dutchy. It looks like potentially the championship could be sealed here, I believe, if Dutchy outscore. I don't quite know the logic, but I think that it'll be too hard for Toussaint to catch up anyway, because unless he doesn't finish the next 2 races, I believe that Dutchy's going to be able to take the championship, as he currently is, I think, 47 points behind. It's around 40 points, the gap between Dutchy and Toussaint. It's obviously 30 points for each win, so we'd need 60 points in the last 2 rounds to gain that gap up. But I'm not sure that he's going to be able to get that gap. I think it will go on to the next round, but the championship could be decided in the penultimate race next week on next Friday.
And I believe that is at Suzuka as well, so staying in Japan.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
For 2 challenging tracks, as Cryptech runs quite wide as well there. But what's happened to Natty as well? I saw him with a 1.3 second slowdown penalty, so he's just been serving that and cruising around this lap, but it's cost him quite a lot of time to these front runners where he was before in P5, I believe. Yeah, not too sure what's happened to Natty there, but hopefully he can make something of this race in the last 10 minutes remaining of this session.
Yeah, we can see, but Bon Evil has actually pitted now and is trying to gain up on the back of this pack of Piero, Jetsy and Dan Schneider, so we'll be following that one closely, see if she can get herself up into a better points position for the Forget-Me-Not racing, as they had a great start to the race, and then with that unfortunate mistake from Bon Evil, she's not really been able to regain too much from it after that, and looking like she had a bit of a similar issue there, just not being able to get on the traction. And but she is right behind Piero now, as look more towards the front of the grid. Tiger, the gap between Tiger and Dutchy is 5.4 seconds, so we'll see if that is going down or up, but Toussaint is now quite close to Timgren. He's definitely going to want to try and get past him and then try and get after his teammate here. As currently he's not getting too many points. P4 still with some good points for Toussaint, but not the crucial points that he needs to be fighting for the championship here.
Bonnie looking for a move on Piero there, for which is 8th place, and Bonnie's way late on the brakes, known to be super late on the brakes in F1 and in GT Sport as well, and gets past Piero quite easily there to P8. But how much time is she off Jetsy? Not too much, so she is closing this gap down to these the RS Racing teammates, looking to get involved in this fight that has been going on between Dan Schneider and Jetsy pretty much this whole race so far, with those drivers having to alternate strategies to try and get past each other as they are unable to do so on track. But yeah, it is looking like Dutchy will take the win of this race so far. I don't want to jinx him with the commentator's cast, but he is looking quite on form today, and has brought his A game for this race. Tiger Assassin is also
Toussaint is now looking for the move down the inside of the Timgren. This looks like to be the best overtaking place on the track, down into turn 1, and Toussaint manages to get it down the inside, but gets a huge twitch of understeer, I believe, coming out of the corner, but manages to keep it all 4 wheels on the track, and he's now up into P3, going to try and extend that gap between himself and the Timgren. He's going to definitely want to try and get out of there, so he loses the slipstream from
and they're 3 wide there, Jetsy, Dan Schneider and Bonnie Evil. Bonnie makes the better of both of them, and Jetsy and Dan Schneider come out that corner battling wheel to wheel, but Bonnie Evil with a double overtake. So that is probably got to be overtake of the day, especially at the start as well, when she went from P4 to P1. So Bonnie has had a really good race today, despite only finding herself in P6. She still needs to be
but now Jetsy and Dan Schneider going wheel to wheel, and Jetsy's going to try and take it around the outside. Dan Schneider going to stay very close to him here, but now it looks like Piero is going to try and get involved on a bit on this action and try and make his way up the field a little bit. for the Interadata Racing team and try and get themselves some points, as they are fighting BCMR in the championship. Don't forget, the Constructors' Championship is still up for grabs. It's BCMR do look like they're pulling away from it quite a bit, just because the second driver for Interadata wasn't doing as well at the start of the season, but obviously Play Dutchy bringing them the majority of the points. Tiger is gaining on Dutchy, but doesn't look like it's quite enough. Is Timgren going to be able to challenge Toussaint back into turn 1? Very close, but not close enough. Timgren on this occasion. And is Jetsy going to be under pressure at all from his teammate Dan Schneider? I think they're a little bit too far apart here. Bon Evil already gaining a good gap to Jetsy, so having some really good pace on those fresh tyres. Is Bon Evil trying to set after Ifin now, who is on a lot more worn tyres, so could be under pressure in the last remaining laps. Only 6 minutes to go now in this race, and it's all up for grabs for the rest of the points playing positions. And even still for the podium here is Timgren still very, very close to the back of Toussaint. I said about how important it could be for Toussaint to gain that gap. He hasn't done so. Gap's still 5/10, and Timgren looking very, very quick in his Nissan at the moment, and going to try and get a good exit around the final sector here. And Bon Evil warming her tyres weirdly on a fresh set of rubber on the softs, and swerving a little bit there. It's not under safety car in F1 Bon Evil, but she's warming her tyres up, trying to potentially push on a little bit. And Dan Schneider and Piero going wheel to wheel there. I think Piero was maybe looking for a little lunge up the inside. But Dan Schneider stays ahead for now, holds down 8th position on the track. And Piero is just going to have to stay behind and potentially make a move on the straight if he's close enough. And is a Timgren going to be looking for the move on Toussaint? He's not close enough again. They make their way through the first sector. Looking further back, Piero is a lot closer, and he's probably going to try and look down the outside here. I was going to say down the inside, but then switched it to the outside, Piero. And I haven't seen anyone make that move, but he's ahead even before the braking zone. So had a lot of slipstream there, and good move from Piero up into P9.
Dan
But Dan
Schneider
Schneider's fighting it
fights
back.
him back now, and Dan Schneider with lacking the traction coming out of that right hander, not able to take the fight to Piero there for P8, so has to slot in behind, finds himself in P9. But yeah, either way back up to P3 at the moment. Just keeping an eye on a Timgren charging Toussaint down. So Toussaint under bundles of pressure towards the end of this race. But what can he do to defend against the likes of a Timgren, who is a very, very fast driver around here, very committed as well. And if the opportunity arises, we'll most definitely be
sorry, but the Ifin's off,
overtake.
was it? Or who was it? Someone just went off?
Saw that. I just saw someone just
Was it
absolutely
Natty?
drifting. That's Cryptek again.
Oh, it's Cryptek.
Who has had an absolute shocker of a race today, and he is definitely not happy about that. He is definitely shaking his head right now.
God, I thought that was Ifin from P5, but Ifin is actually under a hell of a lot of pressure now. As I said, that Bon Evil could be gaining that grab.
Making this move. A Timgren is making this move in Toussaint, and a Timgren ahead before the braking zone.
Not, is he though? Toussaint fighting it back.
Toussaint fights it back, and he left him a car's width there. Fair enough to a Timgren, and Toussaint retakes that position. So yeah, that was a good fight by a Timgren. And he thought he was ahead, but saw Toussaint in the mirrors last second and left him the room. So what a clean driver Timgren is for giving Toussaint the benefit of the doubt there. Ifin and Bonnie are battling very, very hard as well, as Bonnie's just slipped back ahead of Ifin for P5 there. Sorry, I know you were just about to mention that overtake as well. Just barely caught at the end there, as Timgren still staying very closely behind Toussaint. So we're definitely going to have to see what he can do in the last 2 minutes of this race.
Such a great traction off the first corner. He kept the inside line, which was crucial for him. He forced the Timgren to the outside, played it really smart, knew that if he could keep that line, it's crucial, because there's only like 2 minutes remaining, so that 1 minute 30 laps. You think they're only going to get one more full lap in, as the leaders are coming through the main pit straight now, so they probably get 1 or 2 more laps in potentially. But obviously it depends where you are on the track. It's not like F1 where everyone has to finish the same lap. On this one, it's like the last lap that you are able to finish after the leader. and Timgren is staying behind Toussaint for now. So Toussaint's had a great last sector there, managing to keep the Timgren at arm's length, and retains P3 for now. Could be crucial for him for not only the drivers but also the constructors championship. But Dutchy have another great race here, and it's been very consistent. Haven't seen too much of him. Had a bit of a quiet start to the race, kind of slotted in between a few of the guys in about P4, and then was just able to manage his fuel, manage his tyres. He's able to do it like no one else in the game somehow, and managed to pull a big gap, and hasn't looked in doubt since then, has it, Isaac?
Yeah, no, it definitely hasn't, as I've been really extracting the max amount of time he can around this track. So I just saw him knock a cone over as he cut that chicane, so maybe that's where his time penalties were arising from earlier in the race. Having a somewhat of a decent day for Coca-Cola Racing, but his teammate on the other hand, Cryptech, really struggling today. Someone else is going wheel to wheel.
Holland Campion and Dan Schneider are going wheel to wheel, and how Holland Campion was looking around the outside, then thought about switching it to the inside, but just didn't have quite traction.
Timgren's just lost the car, and that's a Timgren's race over.
Oh no!
Engine damage, bumper damage. I just saw that, and he pirouetted 3 times and collected the wall with him. So Timgren, they're still in 4th. Bonnie Evil behind. Can Timgren keep 4th? Which has allowed Toussaint now to pull away, but extremely unfortunate for a Timgren. I just saw that, and once again, I believe it was issues getting on the traction.
To Bon Evil here.
No, that's Cryptic.
Yeah, no, but Bon Evil's now only 7 seconds behind, and obviously with that damage,
close to
it's going to be the last lap
on this
here.
last lap, yeah.
Is Timgren going to be able to try and keep P4? It's really damage limitation here now, and the gap is coming down so rapidly. That damage is really affecting him. He's got that engine damage as well. He's so slow on the straights. Looks like he's going to lose a hell of a lot of positions here, and this has just gone from bad to worse for a Timgren. Was challenging for the
running
podium.
really wide as well. Running wide as the Timgren. Really having issues. Everyone, I think, except Dutchy and Tiger and that, but having bad issues getting on the traction in these GR2 cars. So proving quite difficult indeed. Bonnie is really gaining on the Timgren.
Yeah,
gaining
the
and gets past
fair play there. Timgren lets him through and plays the sportsmanship. Flashes the lights. Bonnie Evil to thank them for letting him go. That was really good racing from a Timgren. Fair, didn't lose any time himself, but let Bon Evil go where he didn't really need to fight it there. But Dutchy taking the win. Great race from him. Tiger Assassin will take 2nd place. Really good race from him. Toussaint, unfortunate for him for the championship, but still, nevertheless, a good race and good recovery from P7.
The Timgren running wide again. Can Jesse get him in the last? Can Jesse get him in the last corner? I don't think
he's going to have
can.
less power on the straight, so is Jesse going to be able to get him on the straight? It's going to be a drag race to the line.
Safe. I think
no, he's not. Jesse's got him. Jesse's got him on the straight, and he's managed to get past him, and that's so unfortunate. Yeah. Not a good race for Timgren. I mean, he did very well, but obviously
that good
really
race for Timgren. Just had that really issue at the end there, but still to finish in the points is quite impressive. So hat off to Timgren there for all his clean racing today. But that is the grid. Dutchy taking first as he did in the previous race. So good race we had on our hands today. Dutchy probably very happy with his win here today in Japan at Fuji International Speedway.
Yeah, and I was just going to say that it was a great recovery from Bon Evil. As you saw that at the start of the race, she was leading the race, and then had that contact, and she kind of lost it over the chicane going through the middle sector. But she's managed to recover it to P4. Obviously, was helped out a little bit by Timgren losing it. But nevertheless, really good race from her to recover up into P4. Timgren was in P6, Eifin 7th, Piero in 8th, Holland Campion in 9th, Dan Schneider in 10th. Natty, fortunate race for him, down in 11th place, and Cryptech rounding off the grid. And then Daniel Gardenzi was our one and only retirement from the race. But yeah, great race.
Toussaint snatching fastest lap of the race there on lap 27 from Timgren as well. So Toussaint faring very fast around Fuji. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. What an eventful race that was. We hope to see you again in Suzuka next Friday.
Yeah, yeah, should be a good race for next week, and make sure you tune in for the Sunday race for the Gavra anniversary race. And yeah, we'll see you next week.